active contributors meeting, I suppose it is, or those seeking to be to organize the active contributors meeting. So in essence, we're talking today about the boots on the ground practical aspect of spreading GPMS and also incorporating that into, or rather how I and a brother Christian are incorporating that into our project that we're doing. So just to give a brief outline on that, my name's Michael Wolfston. The partner who I'm working with on the project is Christian Ulsted. And the project is essentially to build 100 home villages with two key components. We'll call it a closed loop recycling system at the center of the village. And the villages themselves, or rather the houses that consist of the villages, will be built using bamboo as the primary construction material. This isn't anything brand new. It's been done for a long, long time. We're just bringing, or we intend to bring, a new way of doing it, and we're going to try and refine the methodology of it so we can mass produce, basically, and we can produce these villages all over the world. That's the ultimate goal. We'll be starting in the east for various reasons: cost, availability of land, willpower, labor, skills, just everything we need to get started is over there. And as we move west, eventually by the time we hit Europe and then eventually America, we will have squared away everything we need to know about making these things in any environment. Aspects of these villages, well, obviously they're going to be eco villages. We want to create closed loop systems wherever we can. That is to say, we recycle everything, or we are conscious and constantly observant of the way we use things, how what we do with them, how we dispose of them. The idea will be that nothing that gets thrown away is not biodegradable. And to be honest with you, because of the system at the center of these villages, it creates biocharcoal, which is used as fertilizer, which is very powerful fertilizer. It regenerates the soil using this method. It regenerates the soil in 5 days. It regenerates the same as what would take 400 years by nature. It's incredible. It's miraculous. So we could literally turn deserts green with this within a year. A year. Certainly the desert around a village. So if you were to take one of these villages and put it in the middle of nowhere, you could turn it green all the way around and many acres away within a year, easy. So it wouldn't take long to get rid of most deserts. But that's aside. So another aspect of this is water. So we are going to be introducing water piping systems with no acute, what they call acute angles or sharp angle bends, which takes energy out of the water, kills the water. All the pipes are going to be following laws of flow dynamics. We'll also be using that in the way it pressures itself around the system. Christians, that's going to be more Christian's department than mine, but I have a general rough idea. The infrastructure, there's going to be an internet and communications infrastructure in each village. We have a team, we've gone into partnership with this other team. I forget what the name of their project is, but they essentially have been creating a project whereby they can use people's any device anywhere to test the internet fidelity. So in essence, they've created a system whereby you can, very similar to when you take a car to the garage and they plug a computer in, and then the computer tells them exactly where the problem is. We don't have that, believe it or not, with internet today. When an internet engineer has to find out what's wrong, they have to really like work through a whole process to track it down. What his team has done is figured out a way to ping messages through the system that identifies exactly where it's wrong so they can go straight to the problem. And they're looking to roll it out on a big scale and also get people involved where your phone, anything can be used as basically a processor to keep the system healthy, the internet healthy, not the old internet, the new internet. So each of these villages are going to have their own blockchain infrastructure, which will have a lot of things involved in it. The initial concerns for it will be fire safety, emergency call outs, and power regulation to be able to monitor the energy that's circulating around the village. But then we will build on that. So eventually, ultimately down the line, governance. But it will be a closed blockchain system. It will not be the tokens that are used in it and generated in it will not be worth anything outside that system. It will be purely for if you live in that village and you have a say in that village and you need to know what's going on in that village. That's it. That's all it is. It's not like world global reaching, and every single one will be unique to each village. Eventually, there might be a networking system where they can all send messages to each other, but it won't be anything to do with each village's internal goings on. It will be things that needed to be known between the villages. It's expandable anyway, it's scalable. So we're coming at this from multiple angles. That's the vision. And in terms of GPMS and where that slides in, my first major goal is when this project becomes big enough, when we've done everything we need, we have about 6 months ahead of us of various things ducks we need to get into a row, things we need to do, but everything looks to be on track to be able to start initializing this project, making the first builds. It shouldn't be long before we can reach the first goal, which is to have enough resources to be able to build a village that's for us. End of. It's not for sale. It's not to turn into a holiday resort. It's for GPMS. And for people to go there to be a concentrated think tank center of learning, awareness growth, idea planning, everything. And where people who are in GPMS fully 100%, they want to give everything they have to it, but the only problem is they've got the bills to worry about. They have this, or they've got that job, or they have to all these other things people are balancing, as well as trying to do GPMS. Well, we are going to create an environment where, if you want to, you can let go of all of that. Come into this environment, and we will give support the means to make sure that all of those worries are seen to, so that all of your energy, all of your potential, all of your productivity can go to what you want to do, which is focusing on GPMS. And then at some point in the future, when GPMS is fully a reality, they can carry on living there or go somewhere else. But the other thing is as well, points from the conversation earlier that I should highlight here and now. One of the things we are going to have as a policy for this project and for the company, the corporation that we're going to have to incorporate in order to do this. But nobody works more than 4 hours unless they want to. And absolutely nobody works more than 8 hours a day. No more, no, like absolutely. We will force you to stop, and we will not be happy with people. And if people work more than 4 hours on more than 3 or 4 days a week, then we will, be having words. The whole point of this is to relieve pressure, not just financial pressure, but also personal balance pressure. So we just want 4 of your most productive hours a day. For anybody that comes to work on this project and in this project, I know for a fact there are 4 hours in every day where I am the most productive. Anything after that might be useful, it might add a little bit, but I'm not going to get as much out as that window of 4 hours. And I think that's universal to most people. Most people have a good 4 hour window in their waking day when they get the most done. We want that window. That's it. And then the rest of the day, go scuba dive, go skydive, go do whatever you want. I mean, play computer games. Or enjoy the beautiful village you're living in, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so, and the other part of living in one of these villages is that one of the big reasons we want to secure people's resources. And what I mean by that is make sure that they don't have to worry about paying out anything. All they've got really is just is resources coming in, and they don't have to worry about anything going out. It's so that they can travel, because that's another key reason why communities don't work in the past. Because in the past, in order to move into a community like that, you were essentially buying, it was kind of like a marriage of lifestyle. You were entering into a complete change of lifestyle. You had to change everything about your lifestyle. You had to really commit to that lifestyle. And you had to basically say, I am staying there and, going to make this work. And it was really, really hard work. And you were on it 24/7, 365 days a year. And the tension just built up. And with a lot of, and over time, we've come to understand more and more and more about spiritual dynamics, interpersonal dynamics, all of these kinds of things. But ultimately, you cannot ever substitute freedom of travel, or at least the awareness that you are free to travel, as a pressure relief valve psychologically. In all communities in the past, it was in essence, if you really think about it, a prison you chose. You were essentially saying, I turn my back on society, but the only way I can do that and kind of effectively guarantee to survive is if I imprison myself with people who I hope are enough like-minded by me that I can not suffer pressure build up with them over years and years and years and years and years. That was the cost of checking out of society the old way. That was the cost you paid. You choose the old way, try and get on in the old world, or you cut off from it completely, but you have to find these people and try and make a community where you've not really dealt with pressure. There's so many things that haven't been dealt with, so many things that haven't been covered, and you have this sense of imprisonment almost. It's like it's either this or that. Less of the two devils. Even if it's a beautiful idea and it's a communal, and you that's the way we should be living anyway. The fact that you're in that position because you feel pressured to run there because of the old system, or because you feel vastly attracted to that because the old system is so ugly. Either way, it's an attraction mechanism or a pushing mechanism that's based in judgment, and it's based in emotion. It comes from pressure that seems seemingly out of your control, that you are trying to gain control back over. Okay, we get all that, so we can cover that very easy. We just say, okay, we accept money is what it is. The old system has used money the way it has used money. Yep, we want to move away from that. We will one day. We're not there now. Cool. Can you handle money without feeling like you're evil for doing so? Can you accept payment without thinking you're a bad person for doing it because you're still you're taking part in that old system? If you feel that way, cool. Don't come to us. Don't come to us, because you will end up becoming a liability, not you won't help. You'll come to us thinking you want to help, but you won't, because you think you're still holding on to this whole money is evil, and you're using it like a talisman against it. Money is evil, stay away from me, evil. If money is evil and I want evil away from me, therefore I want money away from me. Many of the things we want to do and need to get done in order for this to become a reality require it right now. So we don't want or need anybody who is going to act like a repulsing magnet, where resources start coming to us that we can utilize to build, to explore, to experiment, to build teams of people. But if you come in and you've got that attitude, you're reflecting those resources away from us because of that attitude. And I get why you have that attitude, whoever's thinking that way. I used to have it. I had it all my life, practically, basically all my life, until I realized what it was doing. And then I let it go. And now everything's coming. I'm not a millionaire overnight, but I'm meeting people, I'm talking to people, networks growing fast, ideas are coming, energy gets put behind it, excitement is increasing in all the people I talk to, because anything inside me that was wrestling with the whole monetary system is wrong, evil, and also that guilt of not being a success in my own version of what a success is, as well as not being a success in what the old version was a success in. So you're doubly not a success, was just destroying me and stopping anything from coming to me and stopping me from going anywhere. And then I got rid of it and changes all of a sudden changes. So I don't want people like that. And I can identify people like that easy because I was that all my life. So as soon as I see it, I'll be like, hello, turn around, goodbye. Not yet. There will be a place for you in the future, either at the point of inception, so you can let go of all that, or before inception, when you've let go of that as an individual and we've put you to help creating the inception, one or the other. So, but when the people that come to us are on this page and do understand this, then as all the people who have been coming are and do, it amplifies and it just gets faster and even more potential. Oh, we can do that now. Oh, now we can even do that. We can even start thinking about doing that. My biggest problem right now is organizing things sequentially, is because, and so many more new things come in, which we will almost certainly have to look at some point because they're too good to not look at. I have to put to one side knowing that it's going to collect dust for a while, even though it's a great idea. But I just haven't got time. This is what I was saying to you before in our previous conversation. It's prioritization and assuring efficiency. It's quality over quantity, and this is why I had this conversation with Rick. And, and he said, he asked me, he said, well, how long will it take you to get 2 billion people doing the way you think you can do it? And he thought, I wasn't going to be able to answer that. I just said 2 to 3 months, maybe four, but 3 months, I think. And he thought I was joking. I wasn't joking. It's been a month since that conversation, just over a month since that conversation. We're well on the way. Well on the way. The framework that's being set up right now, I could easily see a month from now, once we release certain marketing threads, campaigns, and certain where certain things have been put into position now, finally allowed to go full whack. Yes, 2 billion is definitely possible, 100% possible. Probably half of that will be the young people between ages 10 to 20, 10 to 20, 10 to 18 years old, because that's Vidi's market. Vidi's 17 years old. He's only 17 years old. And this guy is like, he's just a savant, a digital savant, you know what I mean? So and he, um, all he wanted in his life was direction, because he was afraid he would just be sat there smoking weed, making money and doing nothing else. And he was desperate for direction. And then he met Henry, who just happened to be looking for direction himself, but also happened to know us, being part of GPMS. That was last week, a week and a half ago already. And already we are several stages ahead of where we thought we would be a week ago because of that introduction. Quality over quantity. You can stick as many leaflets and flyers on cars and leaflet and posters and public areas, and you do that all day long, and great. If you want to do that, fine. If that's your way of doing it and you feel that's good for you because it's tactile, you feel like you're physically doing something and you can actually bump into people and talk to people, cool, great. But it's quantity, you're going for quantity over quality. And if you do that, I would say do it with the understanding that you're not, the biggest thing you're going to get from that is really meaningful interactions with people on a one-to-one basis. And you might just meet, one or two people who you were meant to meet, what I mean? Or it was like, but each time that happens, this is the thing. This is like, I've seen this a lot in the alternative communities, and I was doing this as well. People would come across, you would meet somebody, oh, they know it, they're on the same page as me, they think exactly, oh, this is great, yeah, yeah. And then you go away and start doing different things. Why? Why would you do that? It's why would you, having suddenly met somebody whom you are so suddenly on the same page with, and so suddenly you feel the energy, and you clearly see the other person feels the energy just by interacting with somebody on the same page. Why don't you then, instead of going apart from each other, figure out how to stay closer to each other for a time so you can maximize that energy in a way that you both benefit from? That's what me and Christian did. And the moment we started doing that, somebody else came in, then somebody else came in, then somebody else came in. Because instead of, we capitalized on that. And a lot of people in the alternative movements haven't been doing that. There's some great people that make festivals and things where people can all gather around, but then at the end of the festival, they all go their separate ways and wonder why nothing's changing the way they want it to change. Because the universe was trying to give you what you needed to do that. But you had a good conversation with them, had a drink, and then you walked away from each other. And the universe goes, how many times have I got to get you together? How many times have I got to bump you into people to get it into your head that you're supposed to be working with these people, doing what you wanted, and amplifying each other and resource building for each other? And the speed is staggering when it's 2, 3, 4 people, and you've got an array of skills and willpower behind you. It's rapid. It's rapid. And it's not difficult. It's a very simple principle. Very simple principle. Anyway, I'll take a deep breath, a little cigarette, and
yeah. So, Michael, just a little bit to clarify something, because we are saying right now, if the people are coming towards us, it's about the villages, GPMS.org. It's not about other kind of stuff inside of the GPMS.org. It's about only the villages that I have some condition, because inside of GPMS.org, there are no other condition than do not harm, because this is the law. But for the communities, in order to be able to start, because we need people to start inside of the actual system, we need also to everybody to remember that GPMS.org, it's a separate nation. It's a universal nation. We are already declared as nation. And we are here with universal natural law, that it's above any other kind of law, as artificial law, as common law, or civil law, or other kind of law that are artificial. So as well as the people gather, because today on July 2023, we have already 53,000 members, practically people that they gather on the same way for the pure universal natural law. And pure universal natural law means no border, worldwide. So we will have this kind of communities worldwide. It's just the starting point on Europe, but this will come also here. And also in West, as the people are saying, the West, it's about Canada, United States. We can come with the same company that is practically can have also a status here in Canada and in the United States, and we can pop up by tomorrow. So the conditions are only for the people that they are coming inside of the community, because practically I know by experience that even that some people want to come, they cannot, based on their private life. So some people can come, some people cannot come at this time, but more and more we will advance. More people will see the advantages, more people will start to detach, and they will switch their private life in a way that practically they will start to fit inside of the new communities. So this will be in time. And at the same time, we grow our GPMS.WORLD. And at the same time, we develop also other projects, because we have also the free trade, the real free trade. So it's not about the agreement that is right now done by the politician with Mexico, Canada, United States. Is not about that, because there it's not about the free trade, because practically you cannot pass the border and have condition. It's about more of free tax, not a free trade. And even that right now the United States wants to develop their new republic, even this will come. The new republic will come again with the common law. So we are above this common law. So we are doing the real free trade, and we will put pressure on all the actual system and the system that is coming. And they are saying right now that the system is coming, another system is coming, and this new system will be a good one. No, it's not. So we know about that. Has some imperfection that needs to be corrected and practically allow them to come inside of the GPMS.WORLD. So there will be no political parties, there will be no president, no prime minister, no UK royals, nothing like that above the people. It's about giving the power to all the 99%. And it's something like we'll be in a circle. So nobody, it's in front of me, nobody is behind, nobody, it's above me, nobody is below. So everyone has a say in all the project. For sure, we have like a structure, then we are inside of this structure, inside of this way, how Michael described, to do things, because we come with, as exactly Michael said in the past, the GPMS.org is not a solution, the people are the solution. But the people come inside of GPMS.org, that is practically the structure, and then there we start to develop. And this community is on bamboo, you said, because here in Canada they are more popular right now, and in the United States they want also hemp, but also bamboo. It's amazing. I saw some project from the Mexico. It's really so beautiful that I would like to live there today. And so practically, let's start also the community, that this will be inside of what is called today the parallel system. And practically this parallel system is it's the real system, and it's the system of the future. So we bring today, so we are living in the present, and we bring the reality that will start tomorrow. So let's just to say that this condition that we inserted today here are just for the communities, and for yes. Do you have a yeah, so beautiful.
I'm just sorry, I'm just pulling up some concept images while you're talking.
Wow, so beautiful. It is exactly what I wanted to add for today's meeting.
So yeah, there's just some ideas that we're messing about with. This is called the villages itself. I mean, to give you a bit more, I've been working with some concept art to figure out where are we? I think locations examples. No, where are we? Village layout concepts. So, for instance, like this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and the ultimate goal for me is that this is a potential layout. So for the villages that we build, obviously when we're building for other people, they'll have it how they want to. But for when we build ours, I want to use a hexagonal structure in a ring structure. The pink area is for the retired people who are retired or just want to chill out, more the elderly. The blue is for families. The light gold up here is for young people and single people, couples, young couples and single people. And the closer you are to the center of the village is more communal. So if you're somebody who likes to be around other people and mix in with the community, you would choose to live in a house closer to the center of the village. And then if you are somebody who likes their own space, somebody who likes to, doesn't mind mixing with other people but wants to keep themselves, you would go to the outside ring. And you'd have a bamboo, or you'd have your house towards the outside, more secluded. Eventually, of course, when the technology comes in, free energy really kicks in. It's about to really. secluded people who really want seclusion, they will just build their house in the middle of nowhere in the desert, literally in the middle of the desert. And then villages will themselves be the places you go when you want communion, full stop. When you want to live around people, you would go to a village or a city or whatever. And for people who want seclusion, once free energies here, they can just go wherever they want, basically. But in the meantime, this is a rough layout. But my ultimate goal is, well, I have two goals really. The first one is to build the world's first bamboo ski resort.
So
And
beautiful, I like it.
I think, oh, these are upscale, that's better. Well, the world's first bamboo ski resort. And I also want to build the world's first bamboo skyscrapers. And you
Yeah,
can
for the
build
people.
skyscrapers. You
Yeah,
can build
for the people
skyscrapers.
that wants to live on this structure on vertical.
Yep. People, I mean, I could easily see these structures. These structures might not necessarily be for living in. You might just use these structures for concentrated workforce. You know what I mean? If like for think tanks, for business, whatever it is,
Yeah,
art
like
centers.
offices and everything else. Yeah.
But eventually, and you can build skyscrapers out of bamboo easily.
Okay.
There are some species of bamboo that have higher tensile strength than steel. And there's one species which, if you use it as rebar in concrete, in our case, we'd be using hempcrete, it becomes 6 times stronger than steel. 6 times
So
stronger than steel.
practically, you are telling me that you are using also hemp, a little bit of hemp inside, but practically
So,
everything like design, it's bamboo, it's
yes. So what we were eventually going to do, what we're looking at already straight from the off. It's not hemp is basically going to will probably fill out all of the things we can't do with bamboo, and we can do a lot with bamboo. We will
yeah.
fill out with hemp, and that also includes oils, resins, plastics, concretes. You can make a lot with bamboo oil, just like you can with hemp oil. You can make. We're not sure to what degree you can. We're not sure if bamboo resin is still as versatile as hemp resin. But one of the things we're looking into, or going to be looking into, and that's a bit more maybe 3 months down the line, is 3D printers. I'm sure you're aware of 3D printers. Have you ever seen them working? They have like a spool, what they call a spool of thin resin or plastic that feeds into the machine, and that's what it melts to create the structure. Well, that's resin. So can you make that from hemp resin? Can you make that from bamboo resin? If so, say for instance, we can make it from bamboo resin. Well, then every time we build something, we're going to have heaps of wastage. Now, so it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to go into the charcoal activator and become fertilizer, or we're going to reduce it down to into whatever we want for it, plastics, resins, and if we can make printer spool out of it, okay, cool. So now we can 3D print not just curving pipes for the water system, but we can now 3D print pipes which have an internal structure that spins the water, and we can print it using resin made from the leftovers of the houses from the last build. You see,
So
so each time we
practically it's
build, we
based
make
on a
more
machine,
resources
on
for
a
the next
printing
build.
machine. So Michael is based on a printing machine. It's not based on the people handmade doing stuff. It's based
Houses
on
are,
a machine.
no, the houses, yes, they're built by people. This is just for the water pipes.
Okay.
That's it. That's just for the water and whatever else we might want to 3D print. No, the houses will be built by hand. Yes, the houses will be built by hand and built by
And
people.
how much work time, how many hours, for example, would be for a
That's the
house, we
question.
are saying of 3,000 square feet or something like, or more?
That's
How
the
long
question.
time?
That's the question where well, first of all, we're going to answer and then make smaller. So the stage so to let full transparency, the stage we're at the moment is we have a roadmap for the next 6 to 12 months. By October, Christian, as well as a couple of other brothers, should be in Bali attending a course on bamboo, construction with bamboo. Christian's a carpenter. He's built houses all his life, but he's a woodman. So he just needs to get acquainted with bamboo joins. The other two brothers are going over there to do that as well. The other thing he's then after that, straight after that, he's building for a friend some structures in Cambodia, that place he went to a retreat. And so he's going to build a couple there to test and to figure out the system that we're trying to implement, figure out all the kinks, find out what the issues are, and then figure out how to do it faster. And then after that, we have land lined up in Thailand, ready for the first village. Now, whether that village will be the first one owned by GPMS or whether that will be one where we just have to build and sell in order to make the resources for that. We will know closer to the time because there are several different avenues that we're exploring that we're already engaging in for alternative forms of revenue to come in to fund this. We'll also be looking for investment. We're going to be going to old world investments. We're going to be incorporating it in Dubai. And there's a reason for that as well, because old world systems still apply, old world laws. So a really good piece of advice we got from someone we networked with earlier last week was that if you're going to build in Thailand, don't set up your business in Thailand. Set it outside the company. Because if you set up your business in the country where you're building, they will screw you. They will fuck you over. But if you do it from a company that's incorporated outside of the country, very few issues, very little issues. And if something happens or goes wrong, you yourself are not going to, face the consequences of that. The company just dissolves. Do you see what I mean? It's got and you are protected from all. And also, if the country of origin wants to try and do something to you, or doesn't like what you're doing for its own whatever political reasons, you're protected from the potential consequences of that. Whereas if you were to do it all in the country and get it all set up in the country you're doing, they could destroy you and stop you like that. That's why rich people incorporate outside of the countries they work in, Dubai, Hong Kong. There's a reason the old rich people do these things. There's so many things that the old system, people in the old system did to not just get them the resources, but to make sure that they kept the resources. Okay, so we know what those are. We'll just do them until we don't need to do them anymore. And what we get from that, we put towards creating the world where we don't need to do that anymore. It's not difficult. You're not selling your soul. You're not a traitor. You're dancing with the devil. You're just being realistic about how things are, how you want them to be, and the transition between the two. And deciding what your role is in that transition, and whether you just want to wait the transition out or whether you want to try and speed that transition up, or whether you want to take part in it or not take part in it, basically. And if you do decide you want to take part in it, how do you do that the most effectively, the most efficiently? So you're not wasting your energy and you're not creating frustration and tension and pressure. Because if you are creating frustration, tension, and pressure, you're doing worse. You're not helping anyone. Your heart might be in the right place, but you are actually now hindering the transition. It's now going to be slower because you're okay. So you're just pouring that energy in, you're pouring that frequency in. Don't come anywhere near me. Sorry. But stay well away from me because the energy I want around me is attractive energy, is flow energy, is high vibrational energy, but with balance and enough self-awareness and situational awareness to be able to know when you're not, to stop yourself from pushing yourself too much and to stop other people from doing the same. so that you always get the most optimum energy, the most efficiency. You get the best out of everyone in every time, in every situation. That's the game, really.
So practically, Michael, what we are saying that we let the people with the same energy as us to come inside of the villages, GPMS.WORLD, all around the world. Then we will start to build. We will be much more protected than the parallel system that started, for example, in Canada or in the United States, because all the legislation, even right now, will start it a little bit to ameliorate a little bit on the future, because it's a lot of pressure on the freedom movement in order to do that and to replace the bad people. But what it is extremely important for the people to understand is that we do not replace inside, we have right now a pyramid system. We do not replace the bad guy with the good guys. So this is also a game changer for all the system, because inside of the universal natural law, we are speaking about autonomy. And this project, this big project, international project, will be protected under GPMS.WORLD, that it's with universal natural law, that universal natural law, it's above all other laws, and we are already declared universal nation. And we will put pressure in all government. It does not matter the structure that will come. So if you have your place inside of a political party, I just tell you, come with us also. Doesn't matter what you are doing there, if you are on our spirit, because this is the future. So the future, nothing will last if it is not based on the true universal natural law. On the fake universal natural law with other kind of borders and other kind of things like that, this is not working. And people then there will start to do their games and their profit. This is not working. GPMS is not based on profit. It's exactly based to destroy the capitalist system and practically put the people as value, and to show the intrinsic value of the people. And practically speaking about the money, we never agree inside of GPMS with no system, because we want a system that is controlled by the people. We want a system, a financial system that is based on our intrinsic value and everything. And even this financial system will be just for the transition time. And practically this will go with more the technology advance. This will go with no money in the future, because it's not about money. We are the value. So we have the value enough inside of us. It's not about the precious metals. So if you can do something with your silver in a brute way, this is amazing. But this will be not, you do not need precious metals in order to be inside of GPMS. So if you have it, you can have it. This is not a problem. But you are the value. So your intrinsic value will be shown, and you will be living, and you will spread the message to all the world through yourself. And something else after this 4 hours per day or 8 hours maximum. So the people need to share the GPMS message, because this is extremely important. So this is also a call for everyone, for all the contributors and for everyone that wants to become contributors. So you become contributors by yourself. So if you align with us, just get in touch with us. Then from there, we'll help you to develop on the way. And because you will start a lot of projects, because we have also started in Thailand, we have the school there, and this will come with more, maybe an app, GPMS and everything, that even the children will start to be involved. Will come inside of you, we will insert GPMS message inside of the games, inside of the movies, inside. So this will be huge. And so our plans are bigger, and more people, they are coming inside. So this is coming bigger and bigger, and we start project like tomorrow or today if it is necessary. So come with us with everything that you have. And for example, yesterday. Yes, yesterday, yeah. And for the people that they have already farms, and they are for the farmers, because they have land and they have everything there. So it's like the message, come with GPMS anyway, even that you do not move on the villages. So this is not a problem. You'll still be attached of your land, of your animal and everything, because we are the real fighters for the human rights. Then practically we protect also your land, we protect also your life. So all of us, no Beatrice or only Michael, so all of us, and we'll put pressure on all the system. So for the farmers, coming fast, and this will be enough in the future for us to come inside of your land, because you are also GPMS.WORLD, and come inside of your land and give you a hand there, and bring whatever is necessary and modify, because practically we will change all the world. So this is coming small. It's not small because it's an international project, but this is coming right now in this way with few people, but this will come bigger and bigger in the future. And bamboo, it's amazing. And right now I can see that it's also hemp inside, and we can develop also a lot of stuff. So we just need the people to join, and
One thing I want to say,
will be much more protection inside of GPMS.WORLD for this, what it is so called today, parallel system, will be much more protection.
in terms of GPMS.
Yes, until
Yes.
the GPMS starts. So we will start
No,
to
sorry.
bring protection on the actual system, putting pressure and everything, because after GPMS starts, it's not necessary to have protection because it's the system by itself that it's
No,
protected.
I said I didn't say until, I said in terms of. So in terms of the relationship, like, so this project, the whole bamboo project, this is a baby between well, really it's Christian's baby, but I like straight away I was on it. I was like, okay, well, I'll be the digital side of your analog side. Is completely considered 100% to be under the umbrella of GPMS by all parties involved. We consider ourselves to be, in essence, be the engineers, the practical, physical aspect side of GPMS manifesting itself, basically in the physical real world. And that brings me to one of the things I wanted to say. So this idea of intrinsic value within GPMS, it's great, and it's probably the fundamental core. You could say it's, if not the one of, the fundamental cause of GPMS. So it might be a bit of a shock to people when I say, cool, I accept and acknowledge your intrinsic value, and I accept and acknowledge it's infinite. I'm not really interested in it right now. What I'm interested in is your extrinsic value, i.e., what value do you manifest in a physical way that other people can see, partake in, work with, do something with in the physical world? That's what I'm interested in. Just because we all each have infinite unlimited intrinsic value, that's great. But that doesn't mean that extrinsic value doesn't exist anymore, that there isn't value out in the physical manifest world around us and what we produce into that, or what we help to produce, etc., etc. And one thing I've noticed is in the psychology of people is that they almost can't grasp intrinsic value until they've satisfied their own sense of extrinsic value. Because you'll get people that come on, they sign on to GPMS and the whole intrinsic value system. Well, thinking about it, and they struggle with the concept of it, because many of the people coming to GPMS aren't quote unquote successful in the old way. Well, what is successful in the old way? Well, it's an extrinsic value. Those things that we have done in the world that have then brought back things of the world to us in whatever shape, form, or quantity. And that was the old measurement of success. We don't want it to be a measurement of success, but it doesn't mean it's not a measurement, full stop. It is a measurement. It's something that can be seen, measured, observed. It's objective. It's not, some of it's subjective, but mostly it's objective. If you're building a village, you either build it or you've just got a plot of land after 6 months. You've either built it, you've created extrinsic value, you've put things into the world and manifested it, or 6 months down the line, nothing's happened and it's still a plot of land. There's no overall intrinsic value has been lost. There's no right or wrong. but there's no extrinsic value being produced. Full stop. That's all we're talking here. We're not taking away from anything, not on anything. And in terms of being part of the side of GPMS that is seeking to manifest into the physical world the ideals of GPMS, we need right now extrinsic value people who are either wanting to create extrinsic value, who can and are doing and want to do it for themselves, the world, and GPMS as a whole, or for those who, like me, realize that my belief in my own intrinsic value was being held back because of my own judgment of my lack of extrinsic value.
Yeah.
I hadn't done enough. I'd had all this time, so many years. I've not produced this, and I had so many great ideas, and here I am sitting with nothing. And okay, that was a judgment. I was judging myself. Okay. And once I let go of that, cool. Then I actually started to create things of extrinsic value. But then almost immediately at the same time, my sense of intrinsic value switches on. Okay. And an amazing thing, you know, when you really, really believe in your own intrinsic value, because when you really, really do and you're living it, breathing it, your extrinsic value starts fucking increasing, starts skyrocketing. What you produce, what you make, how your networks everything starts growing. And the key of what this stage of what we're doing right now, and the whole point of the initial GPMS village is to create what I read a science fiction series a couple of years ago called the Terra Ignota series. The first book is called Too Like the Lightning. Highly recommend it. It was a very challenging series. It challenged me on a lot of levels, politically, philosophically, but fantastic written. But it has a concept in it. It's set in the far future, and it has a concept in it called the Bash House. And the idea is that there aren't really countries so much anymore, but there are strats. There are like general overarching groups of people who generally have similar philosophies. But within those, there is what's called the Bash House system. Now, you'd be born into a Bash House, which would be named after whoever founded it or established it. And if you were very much like the spirit of that Bash House, you were very much like your parents' child, you would probably stay in that Bash House. But if you were like maybe a black sheep of the family, maybe a lot of people listening to this will be like that, then what in this system would happen is you go to college or university or whatever, and then you would meet people who were of your spirit. And then you would all agree, cool, well, when we finished our process of learning, we'll establish a Bash House. And then a new Bash House is formed. You see, and it's called the Bash House system. And it's designed, so the idea is your family, it acknowledges that there is more to family than just blood. There is more to kinship than just DNA and soil. There is a spirit and metaphysical element to it, and an intellectual element to it, a cultural element. There's all these elements to it. And the best way to harness that is to go out, meet those spirits, kindred spirits, and then concentrate it into one go. Because then in the act of concentrating it, you amplify the quality. And because everybody's on of the same spirit, everyone's passionate, highest potential, highest energy output, highest situational and self-awareness, because everybody loves each other deeply and everyone wants to carry on doing it to the best ability. So everybody's looking out for each other, making sure each other doesn't overdo it, do too much, etc., etc., etc. And that's kind of the model in my mind that I'm going for with these villages, is that system. It's the idea is that you will surround yourself by your kinfolk, your spirit family, the people who you vibe with the most, in order to focus all of the potential and energy of you together in a think tank and an action tank, I suppose you could say. So yeah.
So it's amazing everything that you really described today, because it is coming exactly to the point that all the people are asking for a change, but unfortunately they are not able to understand that they are still moving in circle, because they will come back inside of the pyramid. There are people that they do not need to see something already made by GPMS in order to understand the GPMS concept and to align with. But other people, they are probably more visual or something like they really need to see something. So all this project just started, I will say a couple of months ago. All these projects started and this will be seen more and more. So GPMS will enter, as I said also in Romania, in a meeting with alternative media. GPMS.org will be seen by the people, and they ask me, and Beatrice, how the people will come? So even that you are not kept to understand everything that GPMS is doing, but you will start to see that you have a better school, a better education. You'll start to see that you'll have a very, very, very beautiful environment and a clean way and a very beautiful organic house. So you'll see all these kind of problems.
These houses, when we succeed at getting these villages exactly as we want them to be, the cost of living in these houses will be zero, because
Exactly.
the energy will be free, food will be growing everywhere, everywhere. We will have maybe kinds of things like shops, but they'll be more for maybe exotic items. But in terms of actual edible food, the output of the heart of the center of these villages, the green powerhouse, the output in terms of fertilizer and then the produce that produces, and then the electricity it produces also, you're minimum. And we're going to be incorporating into the houses themselves other alternative. We're going to be exploring other alternative forms of energy that aren't damaging and don't require small children to mine for cobalt in Africa. That shit's got to stop. So, these are things, even these are things we're considering. So if we want solar panels, we want batteries, where did the lithium come from? Where did the cobalt come from? Were they built by, where was the circuitry? But at the moment, it's difficult to avoid a lot of this because a lot of the things that we need to do, the things that we want, have just been tainted by all of these processes. But very quickly, we will be able to get into a position where we can start to filter this stuff out, and we could start to get hold of certain parts of the processing chain whilst this transition is going on, to start steering things away from that. It's small ways at first, but it will grow. It will grow. So yeah, it's the cost of living in these in the end will be nothing, absolutely nothing. The cost will be 4 hours of your time to do what you love the most doing, just making sure that it's contributing to, at the very least, your family, if not the village, if not the wider community, if not the whole world. That's it. One of those rings. That's it. And then outside of that 4 hours, do everything for yourself if you want. Nobody cares.
Okay, so
So,
Michael, I would like to put the name of this video, Beautiful Villages of GPMS.WORLD. And because practically this is the starting project. And this is not the only project, just I like to the people to know that we have a lot of projects. And also for the people, for example, that they are just that they have a small store or an intention to have one with natural products and everything. And also for the people that they are, for example, naturopath or other kind of services that practically align with universal natural law, with the true one. So you'll have free advertising inside of GPMS.org. So just come with us. So please start. And more people will come, more projects we develop. So you will enter in another
well,
world,
one of the things,
high
one,
frequency, and yes, so we'll build from there with everyone and for everyone.
well, just on that point, one of this isn't just about building bamboo villages. This is about networking. Where with so many other multiple projects, side projects that we've got on the side. And there are lots of people who've got great ideas, and we want to hear from them. We're not competitors. We should be cooperating. This principle of condensing quality, focusing energy, and creating think tanks and networked processing power, in essence, manpower, thought power. is crucial to this entire process. So as Beatrice is saying, once we've got a platform, it's going to be simply, the platform, just a simple inception, just a place where people who think like GPMS can advertise their wares to people who think like GPMS. Simple concept. So we just now start buying things off people who we know are on board with GPMS. Simple step. It's an easy step for anybody to make. And but we want to hear about, because we're building teams. I'm building an IT team. We're building, construction team, social media team. But we're working in partnership with a separate company who's going to do the infrastructure, the internet infrastructure, and the blockchain infrastructure that we want to install into these villages. They're not the guy who's at the head of that team. He's coming to GPMS recently. Well, he's been involved with GPMS. Well, he's been on to GPMS for a while, but he's only recently really got vocal. And just connected with him, we're working in partnership. Him and his team are going to do the infrastructure, the electronic digital infrastructure for these villages. Cool, we've got that squared away now. So there's other people might be listening to this going, oh, well, I could do this, or I've got an idea that's similar to that. Cool. Even if we can't actively participate in it, we'll support it. And we will, and if we happen to know somebody else that we've been talking to, because I talked to a dozen people a week now, and most of whom can't really help me. I can't really help them right now. But now that I have somebody I can introduce them to, or further down the line, and we certainly intend to work with them. This is what's happening right now. This is what we're building right now.
Yeah, so Michael, also for the people to understand a little bit, so when they are coming inside of GPMS and they have already their small private or medium private companies and everything, we are not taking over your name or nothing like that. So you are keeping that, we just add the label GPMS.WORLD, then this is practically a sign of quality. This is quality for the products and for the goods and for the services. This is the sign that you align with GPMS.WORLD. And at the same time, so your product will be, you do not need organic inside of the actual system, non-GMO product, organic product. My product, it's also a good one. No, so when this will be GPMS.WORLD, so you align with GPMS.WORLD, and will bring you to be recognized, because we will be building inside of the AI and everything that all the people can find you over the internet. So you'll have advertising inside of GPMS. The people inside of the GPMS, they will put your effort and they'll come towards you first, because you are under the sign of the quality GPMS.WORLD. So for example, your small Naturi store, its name right now, natural products. We are just saying a name. So just insert over, not over all the people will see natural products, but just insert somewhere GPMS.WORLD. Then they will know that this function, because this is the real quality. And a little bit about the quality, we are not doing quality with competition, like it is inside of the pyramid system and the actual system. We are doing quality with cooperation. So this is extremely important, because even inside of the competition, when you believe, for example, that you have the oil gas price here, I do not know, I'm just saying some dollar per liter or per gallon, and you'll have almost the same price in another part, because they are speaking. It's not a real competition there, and your price will never go down, because this is how the actual system functions. And practically the competition is not true. And we have a lot of evidence right now. It's coming from the US military and all the freedom movement and everything. It's coming that many people were kept inside of this fraud, that practically is not the real competition. So practically the system with the real competition is not working, but it's working on cooperation, because on cooperation, and much more than that, GPMS.WORLD, everybody after the inception, every one of us will become extremely rich, because we are inside of a planet that the planet is rich, and we are inside of unlimited resources. So when we have unlimited resources, and we'll have also new technology and everything, and all the planet, it's ours. So this open a gate to wealth, to abundance in all ways. So abundance will be not only on the material things, but also in the spiritual, because when the people, they have everything they need, and the working time is just a fraction time of working and everything, you will be smiling every day, you'll be healthy because of new technology will enter and everything. So it's just spend your time with joy and happiness and everything, and this will be spread everywhere. So this is the true frequency that we need to live in. And so practically this will change everything. This is changing. This is the real change of the world. This is the real change of the system. This is the system that matches your DNA, because we are so beautiful inside, and we need to work on this side, not on the side that some people choose, for example, to follow the darkness or something like that. So with GPMS, the darkness has no way to resist and to be inside of the system, because by the principle of do not harm, universal principle, the darkness has no place. So all the association that kept the darkness, like secret association and everything, will disappear. They cannot come on this way. So there will be a healing process. And also this villages GPMS, it's also part of the healing, because when you are inside of a clean, pure environment, your thinking it's different. So you have every day it's a beautiful day. So it's something very, very different that will spread everywhere in the world. And we have also the capacity to work via GPMS.WORLD in order to implement everything that we are speaking today. But we need the people to come from all corners of the world. And from there, we will start. It's just amazing. Thank you so much, Michael, that you opened so many ways.
No problem.
It's
No problem at all.
amazing. And
I'll just say to finish off, for those people who are on the GPMS contributors Telegram groups, or no, you can. I regularly post links to the GPMS AI team, but I will. I think you can provide a link, and I'll provide a link on my end. But you can find the link in the GPMS world. Reach out to me through there. Same for my brother Christian. And if you have an idea, you have a project, or if you just want you think I can help or in some way, or Christian, we can help in some way, or you just have questions, feel free to reach out. If I'm not asleep on the couch, then I'm in front of the computer. So, yeah.
thank you so much.